Sanlida Archery has been making some big inroads into the archery market in the past year, and now they're introducing their new Royal X8 traditional line. Today we'll be reviewing the Royal X8 traditional longbow. The Royal X8 is marketed towards a broad market targeting new and recreational archers, as well as appealing to potential field shooters and bow hunters. However, the incredibly low price and full bow kit makes this more appealing to a first-time buyer, and functions well as an entry-level bow, though it can be used by anyone. We'll go through all the kit components first, as these tend to be hit or miss. Experienced archers will use their own gear, but I'm looking at this from the consumer experience for a first-time buyer. First, the bow comes in a long canvas bag. I was impressed with the inclusion. Most bows don't come with a case, or at least come with a bow sock. It was pleasing therefore to have a full-length soft carry case. This can be very useful if you're transporting your bow in public. While this was my favourite part of the kit, at the end of my filming session, the end of the canvas case popped open. Spoiler, there's going to be a pattern of small annoyances like this one with these kits. The kit comes with a standard bowstringer, no surprises here. Next, it comes with a shooting glove. This one is fairly decent. The mesh material is light, airy and comfortable. Now for another minor annoyance. There's only one glove size, and it's meant to be stretchy so that it fits everyone. As someone with medium-sized hands, this glove is a little too big for me. Specifically, the middle and ring fingers are a little wide, which causes it to slip loose on some shots. However, I didn't have this problem with the glove that came with my recurve kit, so the exact dimensions seem inconsistent. It is a good glove though, so I'll give it a pass. The arm guard is very generous, being the oversized type that covers your elbow. It's fairly wide and floppy, not my preferred choice for an arm guard. This really hints that this kit is for beginners, as experienced archers don't normally hit their elbows or wear smaller arm guards, if any at all. It's good to have in the kit though if you're a new shooter. There are 6 carbon arrows, uncut 30-inch arrows, 500 spine with screw-in points. As far as I know, all the arrows are this spine regardless of what bow weight you choose, which means they're not going to specifically match your bow. For me, these arrows are too long anyway, so I won't be using them in testing. They serve their purpose of being arrows that you can test and break, but again, this is definitely more for the new shooter who wants an all-in-one kit. That said, I had a knock break just by holding it, before even shooting it. It's a minor annoyance, but if you're a new shooter without spare nocks, that's already one arrow out of commission. The bow comes with a D97 Flemish twist string. Now, for those who don't know, the Flemish twist strings do end like this, so this isn't a fault in the string. The endless loop strings have servings, Flemish twists do not, so that's how the string is meant to look. It also comes with string silencers, though I didn't put them on in this string. Longbows tend to be quite quiet anyway, so I didn't feel like I needed them. Finally, the bow itself. The Royal X8 longbow is a 68-inch longbow with a slight reflex-deflex geometry. The rise material is said to be laminated wood from America, and nothing specified, and the limbs are fiberglass with maple wood core. Draw weights go from 30 pounds to 60 pounds. Now I'm quite fond of the two-tone design. It's a simple, inexpensive look, but the contrast makes it appear a little more upmarket than the typical online bows. The black limbs give it a dark, serious tone that makes it look right in a traditional context. The handle section is quite meaty and is covered with a leather wrap. I found this showed some wear even after minimal usage, but it's there. It's comfortable enough to hold, but some might not like it. Finally, the arrow pass and shelf rug came pre-installed. Before I evaluate the bow, I need to share a hiccup that I had during this review. This is partly my fault, but this is also vital for understanding the consumer experience. I'm not a new archer. I know how things should be and can be fixed. When I ranged this out to 50 meters, I felt the brace height was very short. Now it's not too unusual for longbows to have short brace heights, and it shot okay, so I didn't pay much attention to it. While I was looking up other reviews, I came across Peter Urelsgaard, and he had this bow set up with a much larger brace height, and it looked more like a bow. So I checked the manual that came with the bow, you know, the one no one reads. There's no information on recommended brace height. In fact, the photo profile of the bow used throughout the manual shows a very small brace height. It's only when you go to the product page on the website that tells you the recommended brace height is 7 to 8 inches. The site also says that the string length is 65 inches, which makes sense for a 6 to 8 inch bow. The string is normally 3 inches shorter than the bow length. However, I measured my string to be nearly 67 inches, which explains why my brace height was just over 5 inches. I twisted my string as much as I could, and I managed to get to about 7¼ inches. My subsequent test shots were noticeably better with less vibration, hand shock, and definitely not whiffing my forearm. I didn't want to film my first impressions again, as it literally would not be my first impressions. So as a disclaimer, my review will show a very small brace height and it might sound louder than it should, but when properly set up, it should look and sound like this. So my first impressions of the Sanlida Royal X8 Longbow. This is not the bow I thought I would get, honestly. When I was thinking like a beginner kit or a traditional kit, something for a low price tag, I'm thinking something that is kind of shorter, skinny and simpler. The design and appearance are more reminiscent of a mid-range bow. Now, I'm not saying that the mid-range bows are cheap or nasty. They are kind of unique in their own way. What this is basically the appearance, function, aesthetics of a mid-range bow for a lower price tag. So it's basically a tier up from what you would pay for it. So aesthetically, it has a very pleasing traditional look, which for many people buying trad bows, that's a very big selling point. It's also longer than I thought it would be. I really should have read the specs, but most beginner kits or entry-level trad bows tend to be like 62, 66 inches. They're long bow design, not length. This actually is a long bow. So that's a full 68 inches. I have to figure out how to put it on camera, but that is actually longer than I thought it would be. So it's pretty much what you expect from a proper longbow, and it does have the specifications, length, shape, even the thickness of the grip is more reminiscent of the American style flat bows. So it has all the hallmarks of what you expect from this kind of bow. The grip, like I said before, is a chunky grip. That's thick with a double C there. I'm used to bows with skinnier grips. A lot of longbows have the wider grip for stability, for better purchase. So you could hold it like, for all your fingers. If you're doing it that way and you're canting it, you could hold it with a couple of fingers like this. I find it very comfortable. So the fact that the grip is large, and I've got medium, smallish hands. I'm not a very large person. Will be very nice for large hands. For me with smaller hands, what I do like about it, it does give me a nice solid pressure point here. That's actually pretty comfortable to use, given it's a straight stave, more or less. That's actually really comfortable. And as of usual, this isn't my first time shooting it. I normally do the test range shots, which you've seen the B-roll first. So this is my first impression, but I've shot it a few times now. So I've got a fair idea how it looks and sounds. So let's do an easy shot. We're only like 5 meters, so let's smash it into the middle. Oh, that was beautiful. All right, let's do another one. Now, unfortunately, the arrows I'm using aren't really made for this. These are stiff arrows. These are, what are they? 600 spine, but they're only 27 inches or so. So they're pretty short arrows. They're quite stiff. And these are meant for my 45-pound bows. This is a 30-pound bow, so there will be a bit of deflection. That's why I'm not shooting long range very accurately. The ones that came with the bow, as I said before, are too long. So they're probably the right spine. But for me, I have a short draw length, therefore the arrows will flop. Therefore, I'm not using them. I'm using these short ones for my demonstrations. And of course, they'll fly perfectly fine at 5 meters. There's no deflection there, but it won't sound completely perfect. There is a bit of deflection as it comes out. So that said, the bow is very quiet. Of course, these longbows, as they have no contact point with the limb tips, that means there's no slap on the string, so it won't make a very loud noise. It's a very quiet bow, and everyone who shoots it will go like, wow, it's so light, it's so quiet. So any noise I'm hearing here is basically the arrow coming off the riser, hitting the target. The bow is just very quiet. Even without any string silencers, very quiet bow. Beautiful. Yeah, draw is very smooth. Longbows typically have smoother draws. That's why some people favor longbows over recurves. Recurves are more aggressive, they're a bit faster, they punch harder because of the design of the limbs. But the longbows are gentler to draw. They may be less efficient pound for pound, but they are gentler to draw. Whoops, that's a bad shot there. My bad. Do it again. I'm just thinking about something else. Always be present in the shot, right? That's what I teach. All right, presence of mind, concentration. Oh, I need to collapse there. Let's do a proper shot. Let's aim at something else. Got too many arrows in the middle. Let's go for a spot target. Okay, not bad. Let's try and get more tension up. This is only a 30-pound bow. I'll explain why I chose it in a moment, but 30 pounds feels a little weird for me. Now, the reason why I chose the 30-pound bow was because I wanted this to be used as a club bow. My club had discussion about wanting to use longbows or teach longbows to beginners, and we were thinking about buying a longbow. I felt a little contentious about it because a longbow and a recurve functionally are the same thing. Kind of a waste of club money to buy longbows and recurves when you just use recurves. So my solution was get one of these. So if you're at my club and you're visiting, this will probably be sitting around. I chose a 30-pound because it's accessible for beginners. With that said, this goes up to I think 60 pounds plus. So it's really meant for not just beginners. You can get entry-level weights, but I feel honestly this would come out better as a 40, 45, 50-pound bow. Honestly, like 30 pound to me feels weird. And it's comfortable. Like you can shoot 30 pound all day, really. Like most people can. I just felt kind of weird as 30 pound. I feel it underperforms as 30 pound. It's a good bow, but I felt that I regret using a 30 pound version. If I had a 45 or 50 pound, this would be so much better. I mean, one, because my arrows match a heavier bow. But like this, like I said, if this was a skinnier bow, I would have been okay imagining it's 30 pound and shooting 30 pound. This is, like I said, a tier up to what I thought it would be. So it's actually quite fun to shoot. So yeah, I chose this to be entry level. So if you're looking for an entry-level longbow, like this design, this is pretty good value. If you're an experienced shooter, let's try another one. If you're an experienced shooter, you might have seen these before, used this before, but I find this to be quite appropriate to people who are either getting into longbow for the first time or transition to longbow for the first time. And especially if you're not looking to spend a lot of money. That's really the big selling point. The value of many of the Sanlida bows is almost top tier. They might not be the top tier premium bows, but what you do get is a quality bow for a bit less than what you would normally pay for. That's why I'm pretty impressed so far. Like the only issues I'm having is simply my arrows are too stiff. I don't have 30-pound arrows, ironically enough. So my arrows won't fly perfectly straight. That's it. You can see I can grip. It's only 5 meters. It shoots fine. When you see the B-roll footage, I'll commentate that. I'm shooting up to 50 meters. It shoots. And the rest is up to the user, of course. Accuracy is the user, not the bow. I'm not particularly good with this particular bow, and my arrows don't match. But with that said, it is a very comfortable bow to shoot. Let's do one more. Let's just shoot a spot target, I guess. I don't know what I'm aiming at. Second. I meant that, of course. But yeah, it's a really fun bow to shoot. So that's my impression so far. So my overall thoughts on the Sanlida Royal X8 Longbow. This is pleasing to shoot. It's a fun bow. It is a comfortable bow. Like I said before, this was not the bow I thought I would get. I thought it'd be a cheaper skin design that's smaller and more obviously entry level. This is, I would say, entry level, but it is suitable for experienced archers as well. It is marketed as a hunting bow. You could hunt with it. I'm not a hunter. I'm not qualified to suggest that. But you can get the higher draw weight. And I feel that this will be suitable with a higher draw weight. It has the look of a higher draw weight. So having the lighter one kind of felt weird to me, but also means it's very accessible to people who are trying longbow or switching over to longbow. Does the lower price and value come with shortcuts? Kind of, yes. The accessories are kind of hit or miss. I do like the bag. The arrows are there to start you off, but like with most kits, you probably switch them out right away. The glove, actually decent. I would probably use this as a spare glove. The sizing kind of weird in some of the fingers, but it's actually quite comfortable. It's breathable. I like it. I've been using it for this demonstration. The arm guard, optional. You can probably find your own better one. The accents on the bow, like the arrow pass or the grip, they're not top tier materials, but they're functional materials. They will get worn out from wear and tear, but that's to be expected. What I do like about it is that it does provide a nice, warm, soft grip. It does feel inviting to hold, and it makes it, again, pleasing. That's really the thing that surprises me is this is not a hard bow. This is a pleasing bow. I can imagine with a higher draw weight that it'd be a bit more punchier, a bit more aggressive and fun to shoot. But with the 30-pound version I'm holding here, that's really fun. It's light, it's soft, it's quiet, and this can probably turn people to trying a longbow. And that's why I chose it for my club. Thanks to Sanlida, of course. This is for my channel, but my long-term goal was to get more people trying longbow, and this is our solution. Overall, I think the Royal X8 Longbow is suitable for both entry and for experienced shooters. This is not the $1,000 plus luxury bows. Those are a whole different league on their own. They feel different, look different, have a different quality about them. This one is the bow we have at home, which works. This isn't a cheap knockoff. I actually do feel this is a fun bow. So if you're like many people and you want to try a longbow or experiment with longbow and you don't want to blow a lot of money into it, I think this is a very good safe buy. I'm very pleased that Sanlida released this, and again, thank you for setting it out to me to try. I had fun with it. I'm sure many people in my club who try it will have fun as well. Anyway, I hope this was interesting and helpful. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.